Hello, I'm Gavin Bates, Community and Communications Manager at Workplace Law, and I'm here today for this new special with Suzanne McMinn, Head of HR at Workplace Law. We're going to discuss a case that's going to the European Court of Human Rights and is going to be heard this Tuesday. This involves 4 practicing Christians who claim they were discriminated against in the workplace. 2 of the cases revolve around the right to wear crosses in the workplace, and 2 involve 2 people that refuse to support same-sex couples. So, Suzanne, these cases, which could have a very significant bearing on UK employment law, how have they ended up at the European Court of Human Rights?
Okay, well, each of the 4 cases that are going to Strasbourg tomorrow, they will have exhausted their own internal processes by going through the disciplinary routes and the appeal stages, and then they've gone to tribunal, and the tribunals in this instance have found not in their favour, and they will have escalated it to the Employment Appeals Tribunal, which is the UK route of escalation. They have not had their cases upheld in each instance, so they have taken the next route, which is to go to Strasbourg and have their cases heard against human rights.
Okay, as these cases have ended up at the European Court of Human Rights, can we then presuppose that in the UK courts the cases were not heard fairly?
No, I think that's a presumption that the UK courts haven't followed the Equality Act to the letter of the law, and in each of these instances what they have done is reviewed the cases in terms of what the individuals have done within the workplace and looked at the letter of the law in terms of the Equality Act and see how they've breached that in each case. Each of these cases has a very interesting spin in terms of their own personal views and their personal beliefs and how they conducted themselves within the workplace, and how that has then either breached equality legislation or has not allowed the employers to provide the service that they would have done in line with their own equality and diversity policies.
And so finally, what are the potential consequences if these 4 individuals win their case?
It will be interesting to see what the European courts make of each of these cases. It's all about, as I said before, people's views, beliefs, their religions, and how they then interact with our own UK legislation. So going to the European Court, what they will find in terms of what we've done in the UK and our own UK legislation and how we've breached that, be very interesting to see whether they feel we've breached it in any way. What the cases are looking at in each case is people's human rights, but their human rights in terms of their own religion. And what the Equality Act says is very clearly you're entitled to your own religion, you're entitled to your own beliefs. What's important is how you conduct yourself within the workplace and how then that complies with our own UK legislation and our own equality and diversity policies within an organisation. So for the Human Rights Court to then say your rights are more important than the rights of somebody else, it's going to be a very interesting challenge, and one that we'll be watching really closely in terms of the outcome. If they do find in favour of these 4 cases, it's going to be groundbreaking in terms of what that means then in terms of our own UK Equality Act, what people believe when they can take it into the workforce, and what that means to individuals who have differing beliefs.